So today, LSU got some good news on the recruiting trail. Garrett Nussmeier, 4-star quarterback out of Texas, the son of Doug Nussmeier, former NFL quarterback. He committed to Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers. A couple of things on this, especially considering that the biggest fish in the pond for 2021 is still on the board. Caleb Williams, the 5-star quarterback, today, Monday, trimmed his list of finalists from 5 to 3. He eliminated Clemson and Penn State, and he's down to Oklahoma, Maryland, and LSU. And this is a kid from the D.C. area. So Maryland, he's got a good relationship with Mike Loxley. It's Maryland. It's Oklahoma, which, of course, Lincoln Riley has taken quarterbacks and put them on the national stage for number 1 overall picks with Baker and with Kyler Murray. And then now you look at Caleb Williams as potentially the next guy in, and LSU. I mean, it's Maryland, Oklahoma, and LSU for 5-star Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams even, his dad did an interview with 24/7 Sports and said, look, we talk to Ed Orgeron once a week and Ensminger once a week. He mentioned in this piece up at 247sports.com right now, he even mentioned, as he put it, the new guy from Samford, Russ Callaway, and Coach Linehan. So they had a whole offensive staff do a Zoom call with Caleb Williams to go over the offense. And this is Caleb's dad, Carl, who said, quote, we don't need to be sold on the university at this point. It's about the offense. What's different, what's new, what's changed. Can the kid work with them and they have the teaching styles that conform to his learning style? We're having those conversations and digging into that. So it's worth noting that Caleb Williams has gotten really close with Joe Brady and George Munoz, who are both now not at LSU. So filling that gaps with the new staff members is interesting. Now, it's worth noting that all of the crystal ball projections, 100%, point to Oklahoma right now for Caleb Williams. So maybe that's part of the reason why if you're Ed Orgeron today, you take the commitment from Garrett Nussmeier. But I'm going to say this. I am relieved isn't the right word. Kind of impressed that, and that's probably too strong of a word also, that Ed Orgeron at LSU took Nussmeier's commitment today. And you might say, oh, Matt, what's the big deal? I mean, he's a 4-star quarterback. He wanted to commit. Why wouldn't you take him? Well, if you're still in the running and you're in the final 3 for the number 1 quarterback in the country, he's got you in his final 3. Like, you got a long ways to go. Now, Williams is going to commit supposedly this summer and, be an early enrollee. But even if that's the case, you've still got until at least December when he's going to sign. So you've got at least until December to keep working that angle. Does taking a quarterback commit today potentially limit your opportunity to get that kid, to get the number 1 quarterback in the country? Maybe. But Ed Orgeron is saying, okay, whatever. It's the bird in hand. Like, you've got this 4-star who you like a lot, and he likes you, and he wants to commit. Are you going to slow play this because there might be another kid that you want? I mean, this is basically what happened with LSU with Travis Etienne when he was at Jennings. It was the same year as Cam Akers was coming out. In LSU under Les Miles, they had gone all in on Cam Akers. And a lot of people believe they had a verbal commit from Cam, or like he was a heavy LSU lean. And they just sort of slow played Travis Etienne. And Etienne commits to Clemson. Les gets fired. And Ed Orgeron and the new staff had gotten in so late on Etienne that it was like, I'm good, I'll just go to Clemson. And sometimes, like, you lose guys waiting on something better. So I look at this and I go, all right, let's roll, man. You got a guy at the most important position on the field who is a major national recruit. He's the number 103 player in the country, according to the 247 composite. He's the number 7 quarterback in the country, pro-style quarterback. You like him. He wants to commit to you. Sure, there may be something better, but it's not a guarantee. But here you have a sure thing. I'm really impressed at the staff saying, we're taking your commit. Let's make it public. Let's do this thing. And let's move forward. And if Caleb Williams wants to jump into the boat later, you have that conversation. And I think you absolutely take him. But you take him along with Garrett Nussmeier. And I'll tell you, man, this is really the only piece that remains for LSU is being able to get major national commits at the quarterback spot. That's it, man. You are a national brand now. Like, it is safe to say that LSU is a national brand. And we've talked about that. Ed Ogeron is casting a national net. In the 2020 class, LSU got commitments, or signees, I should say, from 10 states and D.C. So 11 different areas. 10 states plus D.C. You've got tons of talent on your roster. You just had 14 players drafted, tying the all-time record. You just signed a top 5 class in the country in 2020, and you're building toward that for 2021 on the back of a national championship, a Heisman Trophy winner, this great draft class. The one thing that you've not been able to do is land elite national talent at quarterback, and you've had to go national. And I pointed out that Louisiana doesn't produce great quarterback prospects, and that's the reality. Louisiana does not produce consistently elite talent at the quarterback position because, as a general rule in high school in this state, a lot of coaches put their best athlete at quarterback instead of developing pro-style quarterbacks or spread-oriented quarterbacks. Unlike what you see in high school football in Texas and California and other states. I'm not saying that's everywhere, but what we've seen in this state over the last, call it 30 years, where you'd have a Peyton Manning, a Josh Booty, a Ryan Perrilloux, where you've had a major national prospect at that position, those have been rare. Somebody pointed out, what about guys like Dak Prescott? Like, Dak wasn't a major national recruit. LSU signed Steven Rivers over Dak Prescott. Steven Rivers was the better prospect then, not instead of Dak Prescott. Dak went to Mississippi State and then stayed and developed and became a very good player and is now a good NFL quarterback. But he wasn't a major national recruit when he was at Houghton. The 3 highest rated quarterback prospects in the state over the last 20 years are Ryan Perrilloux, Jordan Jefferson, and Brandon Harris. LSU got all 3. Well, I should say Brock Berlin, but that LSU landed were those 3. And we know what happened with Perrilloux. Jefferson had an up-and-down career at LSU, but stayed 4 years. And Brandon Harris lost his job to Edley and transferred. I mean, you have to go recruit that position nationally. The only question is, can you consistently get the major national guys in the boat? Alabama right now is an established national brand. We know that. Mac Jones commits from Florida. Tua commits from Hawaii. Like, Bama can go get those guys. You can even look at what Kirby at Georgia right now. Now, it helps when you got Justin Fields in your backyard, but they went up to Washington State to get Jacob Eason. You've got to be able to go get that guy. LSU has consistently signed quarterbacks from outside of the state of Louisiana. They've just been that second-tier guy that they hope would develop into the star. It's been Anthony Jennings. It's been Hayden Reddick. It's been, even when you got Russell Shepard, you got Shep knowing he wasn't really going to play quarterback. That's why in the same class you signed Shepard, you signed the kid out of Mississippi who didn't pan out. Can you consistently now go and get major national recruits? That's like, you're not going to change the quarterback position in Louisiana. I mean, this state isn't just all of a sudden going to start popping out great 5-star, elite 5-star talent at quarterback the way Texas does. Like, that's just not what this state does consistently. So you're going to have to go outside and recruit as well at that position as you have at every other position. And based on this today, with the news that you're in the final 3 for the number 1 quarterback prospect in the country in Caleb Williams, and you took a commitment from a 4-star quarterback out of Texas and Garrett Nussmeier, it feels like LSU's on its way. And if you can do that consistently, year after year after year, that's how you stockpile talent at that position, and you don't have the drop-off when you lose a Joe Burrow to the draft. So if you missed it again, LSU today gets a commitment from 4-star quarterback out of Texas, Garrett Nussmeier, at the same time that they've learned that they're in the final 3 for 5-star quarterback, Caleb Williams, along with Oklahoma and Maryland.